This channel supports St. Jude's Research Hospital for Children and is a part of their Play Live charity drive. For more information on how to join as well as how to donate, please head to the description and click the link at the top of it. Remember, any and all support is appreciated, so feel free to give and support in any way you can. Thank you for your participation.
What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Megas, and I know a lot of people were saying, where's the PlayStation Neo? Some people felt like when Microsoft showed the Scorpio, it was mandatory that Sony show the Neo. I didn't think so. Reason being is because if you're talking in the sense of like, well, when Microsoft showed the Neo, Sony needs to fire back or they're going to quote unquote lose. I don't know. I honestly don't know why people feel that way, to be quite honest, but maybe they felt like just having the presence of Scorpio out there means that people are going to buy the Xbox One more. First of all, Microsoft said Scorpio's not coming until 2017. Sony has said that you're probably not going to really see the Neo until 2017 as well. So neither of these consoles are coming within this calendar year. There is an Xbox One Slim, which is a smaller version of the system that's supposed to run more efficiently. As far as they finally got rid of that goddamn power brick. I think they made the controller Bluetooth, even though they have an IR blaster. So Microsoft is the controller. I need to see more details of the controller and talk to you guys, because that controller is finally a fucking Bluetooth controller that actually has a rechargeable battery with it. Holla fucking Luya, Microsoft. Fuck you and your batteries and battery packs and the IR RF blaster. Like, why? Why do you need radio signals? Technology, use it, please. Use modern technology. You know, that would be fucking great. So I'm gonna have to look more into that controller. By the way, that Gears controller again looks sweet as fuck. I might have to get one for PC. Yeah, that shit looks awesome. Looks fucking awesome. Anyway, moving on. So, yeah, the Neo, to me, I think we got the Neo already, and we've seen it, for one. Two, I think that the way that Microsoft presented the Scorpio, this is their new console. This isn't what Sony has said is the Neo, because Sony has said the Neo is going to be something that's going to exist alongside the regular PS4. This is not a new generation, whereas from what I gather from the way that Microsoft was hyping it up at E3, this is their new console. Or if anything, it's an extremely premium console experience that they're bringing to go with the Xbox One. And I don't see that with the Neo. I think the Neo is generally just an upgrade for the sake of probably VR. And this is where I say I think we've seen the Neo, because the PlayStation VR headset is going to come with a breakout box that's going to give additional processing power to efficiently run the VR headset. So it's not hard to imagine that PlayStation Neo is actually the breakout box, which will contain the processor and graphic computing unit that will help make sure, because Sony has said that with PlayStation VR, it must run in 1080p, and it must run at least 60 frames per second. If that's true, that little box that comes with it is the Neo. And it's not too far out of the realm of possibility that once the PlayStation VR is released, Sony also makes that breakout box an additional purchase for people who all own the PlayStation 4 who just want that additional power. Meaning that you don't have to give up your PlayStation 4 in order to get that power. You can get the breakout box with the specs and use it as an add-on. And this is just me speculating. And it's something I heard on podcasts after I thought of it. Because once I read that article, I listened to a couple of podcasts on IGN and other places, and a couple of them mentioned the same thing that came to my mind, which I'm not surprised because that sounds right. Because they're requiring these measurements for VR, and people aren't getting that consistently with all games on the PlayStation 4 itself. What is making it so that these companies can achieve that with VR and meet Sony's standards? It's the breakout box. The breakout box that I think ultimately will be what Neo will be introduced as well as another version of the PlayStation 4 console. I don't think that they're just going to have this breakout box as the thing that they're selling. I think what they're going to do is they're going to also come out with a console that contains these components within it, and you have that option. Either you just get this breakout box, you get the full console, which would probably be a better way to do it, or you can just stay where you're at, since they're also requiring that anything that you make for the PlayStation Neo must also run on the PlayStation 4. So this is where I think that Sony is going. And it also takes me back to a podcast where there was a developer who mostly works with Sony, and he got into a conversation with the host of the podcast about the whole Neo. And of course the host was more like me, like, this is crazy, you're going to separate the fan base, and and the guy just kept like saying, no, it's not that. It's not as bad as you think. He was trying not to say anything, so it was clear that he knew more than he could speak on. And he was just saying it's not going to be that hard for them to do this, for developers to do certain things. That mixed with Sony's statement about this just being an addition, and the rumors that they're constantly telling developers you can't leave the original PlayStation 4 behind, all makes me think that the breakout box is the Neo as an add-on, and that it may not be as dire as I thought. That being said, I'm still not comfortable with all of this, but I could say that I would find it more palatable, I guess, if that were the case, because we've seen add-ons before to consoles. Not all of them have necessarily worked out, but I would be more acceptive of this from a personal standpoint. But I think this would also work from a marketable standpoint, because it will definitely keep to the whole idea of Sony not wanting to leave PlayStation 4 original owners behind. So, but we'll see. We'll actually see. We still don't know anything about the Neo. Again, Sony, they just acknowledged that yes, it exists. We'll talk about it later, not now. So they're framing their message. They're getting their message together to frame. Probably sometime, if they do Paris Game Show, there's probably when we'll do it. Or if they do Gamescom, not going to be before Tokyo Game Show. It's going to be either then, Paris Game Week, or PS Experience, that I think they make a concerted effort to talk about the Neo. So don't expect anything anytime soon, people, from Sony or that. But that's my speculation on the whole thing. Anyway, feel free to hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Black Makers, and I'm out. Deuces.